Hi friends, all for art and art for all. I have a turtle here that came from a guided turtle. Now I chose to use Sharpie and fill in my turtle that way. So you can take some time to do that. I left really white margins in between those ridges. Once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 5 ridges are visible. I did Sharpie because it doesn't mix with water. And now I can just focus on having some interesting sand and maybe some bubbles. I can take some what we call artistic license here. Now for my watercolors, I want to add water with my bristles. You can see me going to my water and going back and forth really fast. I'm doing sand and there's a lot of brown in the sand. And brown is a mix of all the colors. So I'm not even going to use my brown. It's fresh, it's brand new, I've never even used it. And I'm not going to use the black. If you choose to paint your turtle, putting a little bit of blue in your black is pretty fun. So mix these in a little bit. The most common mistake is not having water to pick up what's called the pigment. So that's a good word to know when you're using a marker, any painting. What you're picking up is called pigment. Okay, so I'm making sure my watercolor pans are wet so that the pigment is ready. The techniques that I choose to use, I'm going to make sure you can see my water so that you can see how often I go to my water. So I've already gotten it wet a little bit. I like to get my page wet first so that my pigment can travel. And this is where I want to put some bubbly kind of something going on. So maybe I come here, I'm going to put some blue back here. I'm going to use what we call complementary colors. Blue is primary and yellow is the secondary. Oh, that came out really dusty brown. How can we make that more rich? Purple and yellow might have been the better match. So I'm trying to make a brown out here. And I'm a fan of purples, I guess. So here I'm tending. So get yourself a color that you like. And then I'm going to kind of just dance over the wet part. And I'm letting my brush play. I'm going to play with sand-like patterns. And I think I need a little yellow in here to make this come out a little bit more brown. Okay, so a little bit of yellow, pulling in some purple. I didn't like the orange blue, but orange and blue can be a good combo depending on the type of brown you want. So tried to make a brown out there. I don't know if you can hear my doggy's footsteps. It's it's a little later in the day than I normally make my videos, so he is walking around looking for toys. Are you ready to play, little boy? Are you gonna get something? I don't know if you could hear the little footsteps. I bet you could. He just laid down, so. Okay, so let's work our way out here. And I like to push with my brush and push the color out and cover some space. And I think people tend to think of the brush as a pencil and they want to kind of write with it. But you need to think of these hairs spreading out and spreading sideways, and they're spreading pigment. You're not dragging a path of something so much. So maybe you need to get a different relationship with your brush and think about spreading. You know, the sand is going to be all over the place. And I don't know if you can see how often I have to go back. I've got to keep going back to the water. And I like the warmness of this yellow in the sand. And I got a little place where it got on my fin where I don't want it, on my flipper. And you can just take paper towel and take off something you don't like. And spread that out. If you had a color you didn't like altogether, take the paper towel and blot away what you don't want. Now I want to put some texture in here so this looks like sand. So I'm, kind of looking at the sand picture, and I'm gonna just imagine the sides of rocks. And I want like maybe the bottom part of my painting. So now I'm letting that brush dance a little bit with some blue. I'm introducing some contrast. And I'm thinking complementary colors, so I am getting browns without using my brown. I'm dropping some orange in here. I'm sure you're kind of getting in your own groove. And I stand back. I'm actually standing up. Like, here are my hands, but my head is a good meter away. That's 100 centimeters. I am standing several feet back as I look at, where could I add some contrast. And in here, let's see, what am I going to do? In here, I'm going to be real careful and pick out a few. And whatever I do needs to flow. I don't want it so that just one side of my turtle, it's on top of the sand. So whatever texture and whatever color I'm adding, you see this band of color I'm making by going dot 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 dot. That band goes all the way through and under the turtle. It puts the turtle in space. Okay, I think I'm getting a little carried away, but it's so fun. I'm wondering if I'm going to be adventurous and add some, that came out really dark. Let's see if we can get it lighter. I was going to see if I could add some more warm tones on this bottom side. Okay, oh, and there was a shadow in the photo. That's right. There was kind of a shadow. So I've got a lot of dark here. And let's play with this. There was kind of a shadow drawn in. You might even have that pencil mark. There was kind of a shadow below the turtle. So there was light kind of coming this way. And the shadow, that contrast, will really anchor it and make it look like it's on the sand. And put some more light, spread it out. Look, I'm treating this pigment, like something I can spread out. This brush is meant to spread things. I don't want to lose all my dots though. That's okay. How are we looking? It's fun. It's dynamic. It has motion. Maybe I need just a little something right there. I hope that didn't ruin the head. I wanted the head to have a little shadow. Okay, so don't get too carried away, but that was what I remember from the photo. And there we have it. A watercolor background with warm colors and kind of an imagined sand. I went realistic on the turtle. I used a white colored pencil to add some circles. You could also leave circles when you draw it in. And there's my sea turtle hatchling. All for art and art for all.